Pay attention. Creepy weirdo.
I would like a strong, powerful woman to protect me.
He'll fight for America.
Yeah, Poopy Square. The Playable Characters Podcast. Good afternoon or morning or evening, everybody. Welcome to another amazing episode of the Playable Characters Podcast.
Yay!
PCP.
What's up, Al?
PCP.
All day, every day.
Welcome back, Brian.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
missed
that's
a
right.
week. We
Yeah,
missed
you were
last week.
gone.
Missed the last
How was
episode.
India?
Now we have to make sure these are in the right order.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We can retcon it.
It's okay, but
We'll press the reset button. Don't worry. Yeah.
Excited. We're E3 just ended again. But anyway, we're back and we're gonna have a good time.
That's
We have
funny.
a really cool, fun, interesting guest with us today, who is from the world of fighting games.
Yeah,
we
I
can
would say
kind of
so.
say, and he's actually
Before we talk about the world of fighting
yes.
games, should we talk about where listeners can follow us?
Yes, we always supposed to. Obviously, you guys know you should follow us on iTunes and Google Play Music Podcasts and Stitcher and Podbean, all that stuff.
Wow.
We're on the Laughable app as well. If you have a
Yeah.
iPhone, not on Android yet, but Laughable. Olive's
Spelled like it
microphone is
sound.
just real messed up. So check it out. Check us out on there. Send us a tweet at Playable Podcast. Email us at playablepodcast@gmail.com. Leave us a fun review and a rating and all that stuff. And thank you guys for listening and spreading the word. All right, so we have. Let's just get into it.
Yeah.
We have what's his actual term, Calvin? His actual title.
So he's a location scout for fighting games,
Yes.
everybody. Because I'm sure you guys always wonder, how do they find these Air Force bases or these
Yeah.
pit of spikes?
Yeah.
It's a behind the scenes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is our band. So everyone, let's please welcome
Brandon Quinn.
Brandon
Oh.
Quinn.
And it sounded like you didn't know his name there for a second, Calvin.
Oh, I totally do. We go way back,
okay.
but we transcend names. I just call him you.
Hi, Brandon.
you.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, thank
Brandon,
you for having
thanks.
me. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, you've been all over the world, I guess. You've been in crazy places, cool places. Like, tell us.
Different dimensions.
Oh yeah, I scout, but I'm also interior design. I'm also a licensed realtor. I do it all. I really.
So you set up the decor of the
yes.
fighting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I do everything but
Stage.
crowd control.
Okay. What was tell us the first location that was yours that you brought to the world, so to speak.
I feel like the one folks are most familiar with is my work on The Pit. I don't know if you're familiar with
Mortal
The
Kombat.
Pit.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. It was my idea. It didn't have spikes originally. I
You were
actually.
like-
Oh really?
We had to we imported the spikes, and they had to be assembled one by one. So it was a pretty big endeavor. And actually, it wasn't even there as a fatality originally. It was just supposed to kind of brighten up the space a little bit.
Oh, right. Keep pigeons from sitting on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It felt really empty
Like
without
every
it.
window in New York City.
Right.
Yeah, I walked in there. I'm like, this is a great location. This is perfect, and it needs something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
You
I
wanted to
thought
zhuzh it up.
spikes. Yeah,
Heck yeah.
I needed like a little
What?
something.
Zhuzh.
Zhuzh?
Yeah, zhuzh.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Like you know,
Zhuzh, it's a gay for
jazz
spruce.
it up.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
It's a
Gay
game
thing?
for
Okay.
spruce.
Yeah, we zhuzh.
Zhuzh. All right.
That's
Are
awesome.
straight guys allowed to say zhuzh?
I mean,
I want to.
You're-
No, it's
so
our
it's a
word.
no.
yeah, it's
No,
kind of
it's
our
our
word. You gotta, yeah.
Is it a zhush tree? Spruce tree?
You're not even saying it right.
Zhush.
Different. Oh, not that kind of
No, no, it's not
spruce.
zhush. It's zhuzh.
Zhush.
It's like how you would say Jew but if you had a speech impediment. Look at these zhuzhs over here.
Okay. Zhush. So, you thought falling 100 feet and shattering their brains wasn't enough. You wanted spikes.
I wanted spikes. And also it made the bridge they're fighting on as well seem bigger. It's kind of like that idea of trimming the hedges.
kind of like when you put a mirror in a house.
It's a trick of the eye. Is what we're looking to do with that. And that was probably my most influential design.
Yeah.
That
was a big one.
It was a big surprise for everybody when that happened first,
when you first, that feeling of
Yeah,
knocking
it was a real
someone-
surprise. Because back in the day, I didn't have any internet, so you just play and then you see somebody do it. And you're like, holy shit.
Well, the thing is, that was a big surprise for us, too. We actually had a crew member fall off onto the spikes.
Oh.
That's how we realized that was even an option.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
So there's no OSHA compliance at all. Like, have you thought about putting like railings then for the crew
Oh
members?
no! I mean, like when it comes to the world of fighting, you see, I got my start initially location scouting for cockfights, dogfights, baby fights, all of those sort of like unsanctioned fights.
Wow.
You say baby fights?
I did. I said baby fights. They're real big in Oakland. Are you familiar? Have you not gone to? Have you guys? No one's been to a baby fight?
No, sadly, no.
Not
Sorry.
recently.
Great. It is. I would say bring the kids, but you might not want to bring the kids to that one. But They're great. So no, there's not really a lot of like compliance or oversight, which is, as a creative, you want to have boundaries. So it's a challenge in a way.
Right.
Just dealing around that.
Yeah.
You want to make it unsafe, but still not like too unsafe, right?
So they still need to be able to land some combos in the space. That's an
Right.
important important consideration.
There's not many things less unsafe than a pit of spikes, though. So I don't know what you're talking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well, there's a pool of acid.
It's not all spikes though. That's
but,
the important
but you
thing.
have personal power in that you can choose not to fall into the spikes
Okay.
because they're not coming at you.
So technically,
Sure.
you could miss the spikes.
Totally.
Okay.
And still have a great time in the space.
Right. It's all about having.
Even
Do
without
you
the spikes.
consult with the person whose like home stage it is? Like, hey, Sub-Zero, this is the ideas that I had for your stage. Or you just like, this is what we're doing.
So, like any good real estate professional, anyone who works with property, you want them to think that they're giving opinions, but you kind of want to guide them in a certain
Oh,
direction.
okay.
You want to be able to
Interesting.
let them feel like they're heard, but you know what your vision is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to get that through. So if they're like, I want to be on a wharf, and I'm like, what about a dock? It's
Right.
like you have to you take it in, but you kind of have to. You're the expert. They're coming
Right,
to you
right,
for
right.
your expertise.
Yeah.
Do they give you a budget, or do you just kind of say, okay, if you want to do this, it's going to be X amount?
Not anymore. They don't. I feel like now, if you hire me to come in and scout your locations, budget's not an option.
Would it be
It's like
kinda
not a
like
consideration.
They,
Go-
they know what they're
to,
paying
like,
for.
yeah. You can't put a limit on this.
Okay.
So,
No, I understand.
I mean, the pit stage famously spawned the Pitties, which is an arena selection award that's the industry
Oh,
standard.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I had no idea.
So actually, the pit spawned that. Now I'm a Pitty Lifetime Achievement winner.
Well, congrats.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I had no idea.
I
Congratulations,
didn't-
Brandon.
Did you guys not send my credits ahead of this? Or
We
No,
did.
that was up to
Okay.
Calvin.
I'm so sorry.
Calvin.
It was my bad because
Okay.
we've just
Well,
known each other
it's
for so many years, you, and I
true,
just
it's
wasn't
true.
ready.
But I
Is
thought
that
you-
affiliated with the Toasties? As
No, not affiliated with Toasties.
At all?
It's oddly actually affiliated with the Gavins, the Gavins, the gay
Gavins.
porn awards. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a little. The
Oh.
gay,
I believe it's
Gavians?
pronounced
Yeah, yeah.
Gavian. That's what I've
Gavian?
heard. Yeah,
Gavin?
Gavian. I don't know.
Gavian.
Oh, Gavin. We go back so far.
Yeah.
you guys are so zhuzh.
We are
So
judging
zhuzh.
this all the
Wow.
time.
So what are some of your favorite? I mean, after the pit, obviously spurned your fame. What else?
The
spawned
Pit's
your
a
fame?
classic.
Yeah.
A Street Fighter Vegas level, the flamenco bar.
Oh yeah.
Great.
That's
yeah.
festive.
It is.
It's like a good time. It was my idea actually to drop the fence when that gets started.
Mhm.
Oh.
That was a nice touch for
Yes,
viewers
I
at
remember
home.
that.
Makes the space feel really dynamic and alive.
It does.
Nice touch there. That's one of my faves. I like the Blanca original level in Street Fighter. That's sort of like the favela. It feels a little bit like a grittier
Oh yeah, it's nice.
situation. And technically, I don't usually like a lot of like outdoor urban.
Where'd you get that
places.
snake? That big snake?
You know what? That actually came in from Pecco sponsor. They wanted to get. They're like, we get included in this.
Oh my God, product.
But I guess we
placement.
didn't brand it well enough.
No,
if
I
one
didn't know
else
it was a
bought
Petco
If-
snake.
If you look closely, he's actually wearing like a Petco scarf, I guess you would say, to snakes. I mean, they're all neck, so
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Right.
a belt or scarf.
Choker.
or-
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Now we had one of Guile's friends on a few weeks ago talk about the Air Force Base and everything, and then we kind of got into the E Honda stage. Talk about E Honda's bathhouse. Is that
yeah,
his? Is it-
iconic?
Did you find that? Was that like actually where E Honda lives, or
He does not. That was actually modeled for one of my favorite bathhouses, personally, because I feel like this was an arena where I have
Right.
like a lot of experience.
Yes.
you've been there a lot?
And I wanted something that felt sterile, but at the same time welcoming. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
that's why you wanted those two guys in the tub to let you know
Just
that like
hanging out.
this is a safe space for people who to come and relax, refresh.
Yeah.
Self care
Watch a
is
fight.
so important these
Yeah.
days. Yeah, I think that was like a different sort. You only have so many people cheering in the background so many times.
Yeah.
Eventually, you want to put them in a swimsuit. You want to put them in a tub and see what happens from there.
Yeah.
How do you keep the floor so clean? Because I would always be worried about people slipping, while they're trying to shoot fireballs.
Yeah, we mop between every fight. What you don't see, yeah. The players don't know that at home, but
Yeah.
they have someone who's mopping on hand between every fight.
Well, that's good to
Blood,
know.
spit,
That makes sense.
water droplets. They're just mopping it all up.
Okay.
It's a
Sounds
trick
like
I picked up in the old baby fight circuit. You gotta keep the floors clean.
It's all connected. That's good. So I mean, Street Fighter had. I guess we can say. I mean, if you compare the more normal stages, obviously Mortal Kombat's were way more deadly, gruesome. I mean, you can kind of. I guess, separate yourself, and this is what this needs, this is what, and you can kind of get to that really dark place to find a good Mortal Kombat stage. Do you feel?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like the talents, you have to be able to adapt to the circumstance.
Sure.
And so, like I said, Street Fighter comes like almost like ripped from the headlines, a little bit of like a Law and Order approach.
Oh,
where,
yeah.
like real places, real markets. Where
Right.
Mortal Kombat, you really let your mind go. So you're like, this needs 4 acid spewing Buddhas in this space.
Right.
You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
You really can make that happen, and
Yeah.
our team can really just the things they're capable of producing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably one of my favorites too.
Are there any characters who you particularly like working with in terms of space design?
Cammie's a lot of fun, but it's tough because I feel like she wants to make everything England, but actually that castle is from Germany. This is a real,
Oh, really?
this is a real
It's a
true
German
Wow.
castle.
wiki fact for everyone listening that there is a castle attributed to Cammie in England, but it's actually from Germany.
You
Yeah, that's funny. I did get a very Brandenburgy vibe from that castle.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it has like a weird Eastern European thing coming
yeah.
there.
I feel like that's bothered you for a long time. You couldn't wait to get that out.
Oh my god, I know. I feel like I've been holding on to this for so long.
One of my favorite stages is the Chun-Li stage because there's a guy killing a chicken in the background.
Yeah.
And that seems like
Like you said, real world.
Yeah,
that's
that's
China.
so real.
This is what they do
I can imagine a Chinese guy just killing a chicken,
in the middle of a market.
Yeah,
While a fight is taking place.
yeah, because he's got to work. He's got to sell his chickens, right?
And all that is staged. You wouldn't believe it. Those are
Really?
not random people. That's why Dalsim's level, we also had to accommodate his wife is there and will cry if he loses a match,
Oh my
or
God.
will cheer if he starts
Oh,
winning, which is
yeah.
a real touch that we have to consider in designing the space to let those moments shine through.
Where'd you find the living forest for Mortal Kombat?
That was actually a really lucky break for us. I was just happened to be traveling. I was doing sort of like an outdoor, kind of like a walkabout, like a wild, like
Sure.
Reese Witherspoon or Lorelai Gilmore.
Yes.
And I kind of found myself off the path that I needed to be on and really having to go to the bathroom. And I just was walking, and then I walked right into living forest. Wouldn't you
walked into a
wouldn't you
living
believe
forest.
it? Yeah.
Wow.
And I thought, some people would have walked in and been kind of freaked out. But no, I walked in and I was like, this is an opportunity.
Were they like, don't pee on me? Because they were.
They were a little chatty, but at first they were. I mean, I'm the kind of person who can't go unless I have total privacy, so
Right.
that was a little
was a
hard to
little
get
weird.
around. I mean,
Yeah.
I still pissed on them, but it was uncomfortable at first. But but then once I kind of gave them this idea, they had this opportunity. They could brand. A lot of them want to launch products, so they were like, "This is your chance. If you have like sort of a living forest skinny girl margarita in you, like,
Right.
this might be your time to
Maple
do
syrup,
it."
maybe?
Yeah. These are the
I mean, that's their
influencers of
blood.
today.
Why would they,
Yeah.
Yeah, some
why would they want to sell their blood?
Isn't that what we're all doing in this
I mean,
capitalist society?
I guess that's sort of true.
Good point.
That's sort of true.
So it sounds like you had mostly pleasant experiences. Who's been like terrible to work with?
Right. There was one. There's the real competitive gaming community sometimes I think doesn't really appreciate my work. So there's been several of my stages that have been banned from competitive play
Oh, really?
for being too amazing. There's like that sky battle in Street Fighter where the sky is so dynamic and beautiful that professional players will not use it in tournament play because it brings them to tears.
Oh,
It
right.
is
That's the one where
so
you're literally
beautiful.
on an airplane, right? But
Oh.
it seems a little unsafe because isn't it like rocking and rolling all over the place?
Yeah, but that's just the added challenge, I feel like. That's like, Rainbow Road on Mario Kart's not supposed to be easy.
Right.
If you want easy, go back to the fucking Toad Kingdom, you big baby.
Yeah.
I was going to talk to you about the airplane level because me and Calvin played that once, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
And they're fighting on like an old timey. Not actually the airplanes. I guess
Yeah, the airplane's pretty
they're fighting
new,
on an
but-
airplane and flying through a city.
Yeah, it's literally like zooming through buildings. I mean,
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not trying
There's-
to poo on your work. I mean, it is definitely beautiful stuff.
Thank
But,
you.
I mean,
Thank you. It's a little bit of a fashion over function, I feel like, in that one. Same
Yeah.
with the Kanuki Beach, I believe it is.
Oh, yes,
Same.
yes, yeah.
But you know what, though? It covers a lot of those ground attacks. Those professional players don't like it. But you can't fucking please them because then you're like, you know what? In response to that, I gave them the grid. And I was like, here's a blank room. You
Yeah.
happy? Happy
Right.
fuckos? Here's the grid. You happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they still weren't happy. They
Go
said it was
train
too
in-
easy.
Go train in that for a couple
That's like
hours.
meta.
Banned again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, I can't believe this.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
So, I mean, there's a level. I mean, where you go to hell in Mortal Kombat, and you've been there. Is that you? Like, do you do all the locations?
I do all the
Wow.
locations. That was actually just heavily inspired by Dante. I did before I got into scouting. I was an English literature major, so I was sort of looking into that, and I realized there's no money in liberal arts degrees. So, hence the baby fights and everything from there. But
Well, Could be a different path from that to baby fights, but okay.
But I did hold a lot of inspiration, I feel like, from Dante's work. So it's not. It's more of a. It's a
Homage?
metaphor.
So
It's
you
yeah.
didn't actually go to hell.
I did not
We've
actually
had-
go to a.
Okay.
Actual,
We've had characters from hell on the show.
Yeah.
We have.
Oh, I haven't been. I hear it's beautiful though.
It's
well,
very hot.
I was like, it's warm this time of year though, right?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Have you made friends with a lot of like, wizards and other, like when you go to visit some of these places, you're not really in the earthly realm all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Sometimes
do
you're
you
in
have,
nether realm.
Yeah,
literally.
you have friendships with
You know what?
Friendship.
I tend to hang out with a
Friendship.
lot of dwarves. I feel like dwarves are the mythical class that I find myself with the most. Just happens. I find them to be very hard workers. I
Yeah,
respect them.
stonework,
Never hustle.
yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, they're probably good set designers. I mean, no makers, set builders for you.
And like, I don't want to generalize, but there aren't a lot of women dwarves, so
Yeah.
I do feel like they over-index a little bit in the gaze. And so they're very creative people. Let's just say that.
Oh wow, okay.
What are the games? Did you do Injustice?
It did a little bit of the crossover stuff when it's like Mortal Kombat, DC, or
Yeah.
Street like Marvel, Capcom. So I've worked on some of the crossover stuff. They don't usually let me get by the super big Marvel properties. All that's very run
It's very
in-house.
tight control.
Yeah, they have a unified vision. They want that cinematic universe to stay consistent.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I can't silence all the brilliance that I have inside me to do another big Wakanda airplane explosion. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's been done.
Yeah.
People have seen it. I want to give them something new.
Yeah.
Do you get to see any of the fights, or do you usually just like make the locations?
Oh, I'm a
and
very
then
nonviolent person myself.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
But you
actually
have all these ideas in your head, though, which seems like, spikes and...
an
that's
acid
art.
pool.
though.
Acid pits.
But that's art.
That's art, okay.
That's art, though. That's not the. It's more of like setting up the implying the violence, setting up what could be. It's almost like taking the human choice out.
How do you feel about the UFC octagon? Since you are like a master of like fight settings.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of an all-around cage.
Yeah.
I feel like people should have the
It's
ability.
boring,
It's-
right? Yeah.
There's good ventilation, which is nice, but at the same time, I do find it a little limiting.
Yeah.
Keep them all just stuck in there. I find UFC fighting though very. I mean, like there's no fireballs. There's
That's
no
true.
stretchy limbs. There's no
That's true.
that 100 hands or 1,000 hands. There's none of that.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
That's just two dudes hitting each other with fists. Who's gonna watch that?
No, it's not very
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And they don't clean up the mats after each fight, I don't think. They just leave the blood there.
See,
Yeah. At least you have a mop crew.
because they've never done the baby fights. This is what I'm telling you.
It's a lot of experience.
It's an
The
important
baby
part of it.
fights. Sorry, I've never heard about baby fights before, so I'm really new. I don't know about everybody else. But is it to the death or till somebody cries? Like when do you stop in a baby fight?
So there's a referee on hand who makes the call.
Okay.
Well, so depending on how lenient he's feeling that day, or she, that's some female
Yeah.
referees too. I don't want to stereotype.
Right.
They make the call when the other one is when one of the babies is KO.
It's knocked out. Right.
But none of them can move. They're just on their backs. You just kind of put them
Oh.
next to each other. Sometimes you might tape a razor blade or two to a fist and kind of
Right.
Flailing
just to
around, see what
really-
happens.
Yeah.
I
So
bet
it's not
it's
too
tough.
violent.
It's tough
Yeah.
being a ref for baby fights because you bet the parents are really like very engaged and they're yelling at you.
Yes, the parents they are into it. They want their kid to win.
Like
it's-
soccer moms.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
stage parents, except fight parents, I guess.
Right.
Fight
Is that a documentary on Netflix?
Fight
yet?
parents.
Fight
Yeah, it will be.
It should
It will
be.
be as soon as this podcast is done. Someone's gonna start making it.
parents.
Have you ever run into any legality issues, especially with these baby fights?
There's a lot. I mean, the baby fights. I think the legalities I'm not at liberty to say because of pending an open investigation. But in terms of location scouting and legalities, it's really a lot of permitting, especially for like the street scene.
Yeah, where do
There's
they
a
do
lot of
baby
paperwork.
fights? Is it like park, sandbox?
He's really obsessed with baby
No, I
fights.
want to know. What's what?
Well, just like a fighting game, you have multiple arenas to choose from and different tournaments, and kind of like tennis, where you could be on clay or you could be on grass, or you could be,
It's probably like
Wow.
on sand. On
Clay.
This.
I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
like a sandbox, a kiddie pool,
Exactly.
A ball pit.
a ball.
Yep. These are all true. I mean, like you should see them on any kind of like playground, sort of rubberized
Like spongy.
asphalt. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a popular one.
That seems kind of like unnecessary if they're already fighting, right? Physically, like
It
do
gives
they-
them good bounce, though.
Yes,
it does
that's
give
true.
some good bounce.
Yeah.
Ceramic tile's a popular one too. You'd be
Really?
surprised. Yeah,
Eyebrow-
a granite countertop. That's more of like the park slope,
Ooh.
like the upper echelon
Right.
of the high end baby fight.
There's
That also
high-end
seems very dangerous
That's like
because then what if they
Vegas.
fall off?
It's
then it's
honestly-
kind of like a pit.
That's
like,
where the pit kind of,
Oh.
Baby
every
pits.
every fight sport has its pit. You know what I mean? Everyone
That's
has
true.
its
That's true.
pit.
Because you can get knocked out of the ring in boxing, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Over the top rope in WWE.
Yeah.
You can everything's a pit.
Yeah.
Everything's a pit.
Well, yeah. The UFC, the octagon is basically just a pit.
Yeah.
You know.
It's true. Yeah, it is actually. It's
So
one.
it's kind of like comes back. just to the pit.
It's all full circle. I never thought about that. The circle of life is a pit.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, in Mortal Kombat 1, it had the pit of spikes. In 2, or maybe even 3, it was just cement. Wasn't it? Like you punch them off the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Some had spikes and some didn't.
You got to change it
There's
up.
been some variations on the pit. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's like a bridge, sometimes it's like a platform. And
Right.
as I got to like more like 3D models and 3D gaming with different planes, there's ones where you can go into the spikes and not be dead. You can go down there and still fight among the spikes, which I thought was good to give the spikes a bit more of time to shine.
Right.
It wasn't just the end. It was kind of like a chance to really explore the space.
Yeah.
So there's just been a lot of variations on it since then. Like I'm committed to innovating. I don't want to just like, if I just did the pit and stopped there, I wouldn't be a pity lifetime achievement award winner.
Right.
Actually,
gotta get
that
pity.
leads to a follow-up question. What was it like to transition from 2D design to 3D design?
You know what? It was easy for me. I don't know about a lot of other designers, but I feel like most of my everyday life is spent in 3D, and so I thought I had a lot
That's
of
true. That's a good point.
experience. It was, it was harder to learn 2D, I think, first. But transition to 3D, actually, I just took a lot of inspiration from real life, which turns out is mostly 3D.
Yeah.
Oh, that is crazy. We are. I can touch like in many directions.
Now, with this, let's say this living room, could you do something with this living room in terms of fighting?
Well, first of all, I would start
you
with a
mean
coat of paint.
studio.
Yeah,
The
the
studio.
studio.
You mean studio.
Studio.
Yeah, I would start with a coat of paint. That's what I would
That's a good
start
point.
with that.
It does need some paint.
But I could also see a beautiful sort of like glowing ember fire pit. But not like a kind that you like roast marshmallows on, like one that will like burn your flesh off, like Linda Hamilton in Terminator, kind of like style, engulf you in flames.
And maybe if you get
thing.
too close, it'll spit fire at you like every few minutes.
See,
Like
I
you don't know
love
what
an
it's-
environmental hazard.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta have something like that, or maybe. But that almost feels too easy. I almost want a fire pit there that you're like, what's that going to do? And all of a sudden, acid comes from another part of the room.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
Oh, like a little surprise.
Like a little
I like
bait and
that, yeah.
switch. Yeah,
They're
yeah,
very good at
definitely.
zhuzhing these.
This
I mean,
is
it's-
look, I am an expert.
I love when they added the environmental hazards to these games. I mean, the first couple Mortal Kombat didn't have it, and then they did. I thought it was such a great, innovative idea. Was that all you? Did you mostly do the environmental hazards?
I mean, I've been putting environmental hazards in everything I design since before I was even in video games. I was
Really?
putting environmental hazards. I was designing people's apartments, and I would just put environmental hazards into.
Oh,
their
like what? What do you
apartments.
put in an apartment?
Like
what
if there
kinds-
would be like all of a sudden you'd open the microwave and a dragon would fly
A
out.
dragon?
Yeah.
like
Trap-
a little, like
trap
a little,
doors.
like a little dragon.
Yeah, it would kind of like expand, like when you buy a Casper mattress and you take it out of the box and it takes.
So it would come out and it would become a large dragon.
Yes,
On the way out.
trap
This is
doors, things
amazing.
like that.
Yeah, trapdoors was a big one. A lot of electrical things were real easy to rig up in apartments.
Like you turn on the lights, you get electrocuted.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And people would still use you, huh? They would still use you.
There's a reason why I'm not doing that still. I don't think people really understood my vision the same way as they do in the video game industry.
It's a very like brutal Kafka-esque kind of thing that
Yeah.
you're going for.
Again,
right?
but no one else did it. But no one did it like me.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So-
Sure, very true.
Yeah.
Do you do this kind of stuff in your own home? What's your home like?
Oh, actually, so I have a very minimalist home myself.
Okay, interesting.
They say like you don't mix business and pleasure. So I like to go home to a very like blank space, a literal blank space. So the grid on Street Fighter.
That's kind of where you
Once
live.
I made that, I was like, this actually is great because I can just project my vision around the room.
It's like the
around me.
holodeck.
Yeah.
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 Exactly. Or that episode of Community, which I think was essentially the same
Yes.
thing. I saw that and I was like, who was in my house? Get out of here, Dan Harmon.
So I have to ask, because I know that some of your stages tend to have animals, like you specifically mentioned Dalsim stage with the elephants.
Yes.
Do you have to like make sure that you are signed off with the ASPCA, or like what happens? Are any animals ever harmed?
So I'm a very strong proponent of animal safety and rights, and so all of those were all CGI'd in post.
Even
Really?
Even the chicken?
animals, especially the chicken.
Even the chicken. So you
Especially-
go.
Actually, the chicken's a hologram like Tupac. Yeah, because we didn't want to slaughter anything.
So the guy's murdering just a hologram.
Yes.
Is that guy a hologram too, or is
No,
it,
that guy's real. He's
Nice.
actually very talented to pull off that acting against that
Yeah,
hologram.
that's
Yeah,
he
it's-
was just holding like a hot water bottle
He's
with like
kind
a
of like
mocap
miming
on
in a
it.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh
it
my
was a
God.
lot for him. I'm totally fine with two humans beating each other to a bloody pulp and death on screen, but animals is where I draw the
No,
line.
we
I
can't. That's totally-
can't do it.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, that's my rule. So if I'm gonna work on a project, then I want them all edited in a post. I want them to be
Interesting.
somewhere happy, a sanctuary. We'll get the footage of them there, and we'll just beam it in.
So how do you feel about Reptile? Because isn't Reptile literally like a reptilian thing?
Humanoids really kind of like draw.
Yeah,
Really,
he has
it's
free will,
complicated.
you know.
Yeah, he signed up for this willingly. You know what I mean? He wasn't conscripted into it. It's kind of like when you. I'm gonna say something very revealing. It's
Oh,
sort of like when
please say it.
Yeah.
It's sort of like when you watch like a bait bus porno, and you're like, oh no, they. They just look like they didn't mean to be here, but they signed the release to be here.
But what is bait bus for the listeners who may not know?
It's sort of like judging, but
It's like these guys just judging each other on a bus.
yeah, it's like
Yes.
it's a straight guy who's never been judged before. And they offer him sums of money until he agrees to be judged on camera.
Oh, so it's
Oh, I
Yeah.
had no idea. That Calvin's seen those before.
I think Calvin's seen them
I think.
because he's dying of laughter right now.
Hey, it's a popular industry.
Maybe that's where you could take, because
I've designed those sets too. Those vans,
Those
those
vans.
those
'Cause
like graffitied, sharpied inside.
I've seen the straight guy van versions.
vans
you
with
know?
no seats in them. It's a
Yeah.
And
know.
they could really use. I mean, maybe the gay ones are a little bit nicer, but
Of course they are.
The straight
There's,
ones are
there's,
very.
there's an escritoire in there or whatever. Like there's sconces on the
There's
wall.
so many
I'm
words.
learning
I
so
don't
many
know.
words today. Calvin just died.
Like 30% of the gay vocabulary is French words.
Yes,
It is.
yes. So it's like judging, le juge, as
Yeah.
they say
Oh,
in
it's
France.
le juge.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Learning a ton.
Yeah,
Right.
this is like a seminar.
Calvin,
Right now.
what are some of your favorite stages? In good transition, Brian. I always loved that one of the final stages of Mortal Kombat it's like Goro's dungeon. Talk
That's
about
dope.
that.
I have a
Right?
great.
Yeah, I was gonna say because there are a lot of layers I've noticed in Mortal Kombat.
A lot of folks
like-
have layers. Goro's is one of my favorites. I actually there's a famous location scout joke about Goro's lair, which goes, it's a room that has really good bones. There it
It's
is.
got a lot.
Yeah.
You got the bones hanging up in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of interior design humor.
I get it.
I get it.
You know.
Yeah.
So that was a really fun one to work on. It was just a really a blank canvas, really to start an unclaimed kind of space that we were able to really make our own. We tried a few things there before the bones. We tried shiplap. We tried reclaimed barnwood. It just didn't have the same effect that like the
Shiplap.
the
What is
bones.
shiplap?
So do you know a ship? Are you
A
familiar with
ship.
ships?
A ship. Yeah. Oh,
Are ships
it's
a gay
wood.
thing? Does
It's
anyone
a wood from a ship.
I know.
Okay, you guys know ships. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here with you.
Shiplap is sort of like the wood from ships.
Yes.
And some people use it decoratively in their homes.
all right.
I didn't want to say I didn't know what that it was either.
Yeah.
I actually did not know. I was actually not.
That's
gonna
why.
lie.
That's why Brandon's the best at what he
This
does.
is why
See?
I've done this. Yeah, you see, people use it as like a decor in their home. It's a kind of wood, but it didn't really
Feng
have the
shui.
same. Yeah.
in a way.
But that-
No, that's
No,
not
no,
what that
Oh.
is at all.
Is he the final guy in Mortal Kombat? Feng Shui?
Oh, wah, wah.
Is
I'm
that
gonna
Shang-
cut that out.
Shang Tsung.
But yeah, that layer was a lot of fun because I really feel like it was. So that shows like how a little goes a long way. You know, in other ways, it could have been a sewer, it could have been a dungeon. You hang those skeletons
you've
up,
done,
and suddenly,
yeah.
oh, of course. I mean, but that's kid stuff. Everyone's done one. I mean, you're an intern still doing dungeons. But I feel like the skeleton really was like a one piece that really made a difference to bring a whole room together.
I was gonna say it really does and it's a good focal point. I've noticed, so I like it.
Yeah, I think it really draws the eye. So even though there's like multiple men with multiple limbs, too many limbs, and
Yeah.
folks literally beating each other to bloody pulps,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're looking at that skeleton.
Whose
hanging in the
skeleton
back.
is that? No, is that someone? Was it already there, or did you kill somebody for that?
We bought it at a thrift store actually. You know what I
Oh,
mean? If you
you just-
scour out for these flea markets, you will find anything.
He found it.
So we
Human
found-
remains.
Yeah, we found it at a flea market.
Was it a flea market in Outworld? Because it sounds like a
No,
very
it was
outworldly-
no, it was
in
it
this
was Florida.
world. Yeah.
It was
Oh.
Florida. Yeah, yeah. It
Well,
was
that
a flea
makes
market
sense.
in Florida. Yeah.
Mhm.
They just got bones laying around.
Yeah, there was just bones, and they made it. They wanted 120. I offered them 60. That's how you have to do those flea markets. You gotta
Thank you
go
for telling
in.
us the price.
Well,
That's
your
not
listeners,
so
I mean,
bad
you
for
want
it.
Yeah, for
body.
remains.
Wait, for
yeah.
now, it's pretty cheap
Pretty
for
good.
human remains.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know why, but the guy really wanted to get it off his hands real quick. So he was kind of in a hurry, I think.
He was
to-
fine.
I feel
he
like you
would
could have
take-
gotten it for free.
Yeah, it was our best offer. So that was my best. That was the best offer. So
I gotta ask, what's it like working for final bosses? I mean, I feel like Bison and Shao Kahn. I hear that they're very demanding, and they're also organizing the entire tournament.
Of
So
course.
is it tough to work with them? Because I know you're getting ideas, for example, from E Honda and Ryu and stuff, but we
You
have
know,
to meet Bison
everybody-
specifications. So
every industry has their divas, and I feel like M. Bison is sort of like the Christina Aguilera of the video game boss world. So very particular what's in the rider, very particular about the crowd size, obsesses. You would be so very surprised how interested dictators are in their crowd sizes, and wanting to be convinced how many people are there, despite all evidence to the contrary.
Right.
There is a lot of optics that have to be taken into account as to how the crowd is arranged and presented at these final tournaments, and that we make sure that the blood sport is met with a lot of like revelry and celebration. So It's about a lot of flowers. It's about a lot of sort of streamers and confetti that may not even make the game. That's mostly just there for them. They just want to be able to feel like this is an event.
Yeah. I always liked the thing in Sagat stage, that giant statues kind of hanging out there in Thailand. Right? What is that? Is that an actual thing, or
It's probably a real statue.
is it a real statue?
It
I
is
thought
a real
actually
statue. It is a real statue. I'm not sure what it is. I didn't speak the language, so I just kind of went over there and I asked if I can take it, and they yelled very loudly at me, and then I took it anyway.
You just took the statue.
You're like, I want
Yeah,
that.
I went into
Loaded
there,
up on the truck.
and I was like, this is culture that I would like to appropriate, and so I went there. I'm like, this is beautiful. And
So
everyone is very solemn. I'll take it for the road. Thank you.
All these fights happen in the same studio space. It's just each stage is
You know
set
what?
up
Sometimes
there.
we do some remotes. You know,
do?
it's a
Okay.
lot. We do some remotes. It's a lot more expensive. So for that to do that, so I know while I don't have budget restrictions, I like to keep it in mind. You know what I mean? I want to make sure everyone's
Sure.
happy with my work.
Yeah.
So we try to do everything we can on the sound stage, but every now and then we will have to do a remote. A lot of the street scenes you see will be done remote,
Right.
save for the animals, which, as I mentioned, will be added later in post.
Like, what about Guile's stage, right? Is that on an aircraft carrier, or is that you just recreated?
That is, you know, we really want to support giving American jobs.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure we went on to that actual space and honored our troops by doing it live. There.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, must have been fun.
And I have to say, how much does it cost to get, like, you know, how, like, sometimes in like bonus rounds where like you have to beat up a car or destroy like a bunch of bricks. How much does that cost? And like, who designs those things?
It's very low cost. Again, all that stuff gets bought at Florida flea markets. I'm a big believer in Florida flea markets where people are looking to get rid of lots of bricks of things
Right.
And getting rid of cars.
Like a
for
drug
reasons.
dealer's car. Or something
Yeah.
like that,
People, I mean, I don't ask questions. I don't know whose
Right.
car it is. But just for the record, I don't know. But yeah, cars, bricks of stuff, mostly cocaine. And then,
Right.
and then, yeah, human remains, all that stuff is for sale. So we go there, we get everything we need for that kind of stuff. It's also where they get all of the gators for any kind of buck hunter you've been playing. Yeah, if you get to a gator stage and buck hunter, all Florida flea markets.
Oh.
Oh.
Everyone comes, sells their
It's
gators.
all connected. It's like
Yeah.
a video game flea market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so to
I didn't know
speak.
Florida had such a booming industry of this.
It does. I mean, it's not just video game people that shop there. I mean, like, it's if you need anyone, you go to Florida.
Tell Dr. Wiley to go to the
Yeah,
to
we
go
should.
there.
Yeah, seriously.
Totally.
Yeah.
We had Dr. Wiley on earlier, and he kept
Oh,
like trying to think about.
fantastic.
Yeah, are you familiar with?
Did he keep the weight off? Did he keep the weight off?
You know, I mean, like, unfortunately,
looking kinda
didn't.
fat.
Yeah.
That's what they say. You know, you get the band, it's good for a little while, but you always put the weight back on.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about designing, like, speaking of Wiley, have you ever thought about designing his fortress? Because I know Wiley was on here talking about difficulties with insta spikes and handling them, you know, because since they're insta kill.
See, it's kind of like when they design for the Olympics. You know what I mean? I want to do it for an arena for a fight. I can't do someone's home anymore. You know what I mean? Like a fortress,
Yeah.
that's a big job, and there's a lot of specs for that. And the way my schedule is right now, I just don't have the time.
Yeah, I understand. So what are you working on right now? What are your projects?
So right now, there's a couple new fighting games coming up that I'm real excited about. I'm not at liberty to say too much, but there is some Mortal Kombat DC. You know, I don't know all this. Gal Gadot recently has been such.
Is it
a
Godot
hit.
or Godot?
It is a Godot, actually.
Oh, I thought it was
which is-
Godot,
Oh,
actually.
yeah, I thought it was Godot as well.
I thought it was too, and someone corrected me. And I
Godot.
was furious.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're designing. I mean,
I can't give
Spe-
too many details, but
the Wonder Woman, their mascara, right?
Yes, they're mascara, yes.
Yeah.
if you were to ask if I was designing a level for Mortal Kombat with Wonder Woman at the forefront, I would not say no.
Oh, wow. Well, this is very exciting.
But that
Breaking
just may be my
news.
lasso of truth talking.
We good on time?
Yeah, no, maybe we should. Yeah. Can you stick around? We like
Sure.
to play a
Yes.
game when
Play a
we
quick game.
conclude
Awesome.
these.
Thank you so
love
much for
to.
your
This
episode.
Yes,
insight.
thank you. We've learned so much.
Do you want to plug something? Do you have a website? Do you want to?
Yes.
You know what? Right now, I think the best thing I can plug is just my gallery show I'm doing.
Oh yeah,
of
where is
all of
that?
my
Oh.
Where's that
favorite-
going to be?
It's going to be downtown in Soho.
Okay.
It's a beautiful space where they've actually have 3 of the spikes from the pit on display.
Oh.
So you're not going to miss that. It's running through July.
Were
And
they-
you can like go up and touch the spikes. and
You
everything.
can. I wouldn't advise touching them very hard. They
Yes, of
are
course.
sharp, pointy, and covered in poison. But
Where they use spikes, if you know what I mean?
yes.
Like,
Oh yes. There is some
wow.
residual
like Blanca blood.
Human, yeah. Well, that's good in Mortal
Would be
Kombat.
Blanca
We're gonna get
I meant
some-
Baraka.
Yeah.
some Baraka blood. Definitely some Scorpion blood. So
acid stuff, huh?
Very cool.
there's some real interesting stuff there. So you want to go and check that out.
Definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
What dates is it? Tell
That
people.
runs the end of July.
End of July.
And it's open only on Wednesdays from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay, right. It's a late night
You
gallery.
It's a weird crowd.
You don't want to miss
That
it.
sounds like it's around the same time as your baby fights.
Yeah, they know what it is. It's a lot of the same shared audience. So
Yeah,
we're
I
trying-
think fight stuff happens late at night.
The Venn diagram of people into baby fights and people into Mortal Kombat scene memorabilia. There's like it's just a one circle.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So, Calvin,
Alright,
who?
awesome.
Oh, do you want me
Or-
to?
Yeah, let's
okay,
play
I'll
a
do
game
this.
of Web Bed
Okay.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, wow. This will actually be an interesting one. So as we said, it's basically you pick someone you would, pick someone you would bed, and one you would dead.
Okay.
So beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, bloop.
Beep, bop, boop. Random
We
generator.
put it into RNG.
This
as we
is
call it.
random. This is all random.
Very random. And actually, there's a lot of, it's all fighting game people, strangely
Are you
enough.
serious? I swear to God, this is random.
I swear.
I just picked 3 numbers. That's
Very weird. So first person is Aaron Black from the newest Mortal Kombat.
Ooh.
Sub-Zero from
Ooh.
classic Mortal Kombat. And Rashid from the newest Street
Oh
Fighter.
my goodness.
Oh.
So yeah, literally. All-
Just describe the characters to people who
So,
don't know them.
Aaron Black
is
is
kind of like Mr. Martson in Red Dead Redemption, but an evil murderous type of guy.
He's like a murderous cowboy.
like a
Murderous
sorcerer
cowboy.
cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who actually I used him a lot when I first started playing that Mortal Kombat. I loved him.
Yeah, he's
he
really
was
good.
awesome. Sub-Zero. We all know Sub-Zero.
Everybody knows that.
Ninja
Probably-
Ice.
Would you say he is the most iconic Mortal Kombat character?
No, he's not.
I'd say
Really?
the tie between him and Scorpion.
No, Scorpion is the most iconic.
You think Scorpion is?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And Rashid, who's actually my number 2 in Street Fighter V.
Mm-hmm.
Not very good with him, but I do like using him. He's like an Arabian prince ninja.
Yeah,
type
he's
of
kind of
guy.
like a douchey
He's not that
Arabian
douchey.
prince.
He's not douchey. I mean, he's a little cocky, but he's nice.
Yeah.
He's a
got that-
hero.
He's got those weird sunglasses. He looks.
He's
like
got like
a-
one. It's like not a monocle, but it's just over one.
Yeah,
eye?
it's like a monocle. But it's more of like a computer interface thing.
Right.
I mean,
See?
come
Just a little
on,
heads up
that's
display.
douchey.
So
That's like wearing Google Glass.
Yeah,
or
it's
a
like
Bluetooth
Google Glass.
Yeah.
Ugh.
while you're fighting, I guess it's kind of douchey while you're
Come on.
fighting to wear that. Yeah. So Brandon, we always have to guess who first. Who would
Yes.
you wed, bed, and dead in this out of this group? And do you know any of them?
You
by
know
the
these
way?
guys.
Like,
I mean, you might know
Sub-Zero
them
and I,
personally,
Sub-Zero
yeah.
and I actually have been very close for a long time.
Oh.
This is a picture of Rashid, just in case you don't know what he looks like.
Yeah, I think I already
Oh,
said.
okay.
So I think
I know.
I think I'm going
Oh, I
to
know.
wed Sub-Zero.
Oh,
Oh.
interesting.
Wait, yes, I'm going
Why?
to
Why?
wed
Why?
Sub-Zero.
Why are you wedding?
Because he's quiet, and I feel like that's important to me. I need my peace when I'm in my grid. I would like to be able to work in peace. So he's
Minimalism, yeah.
quiet. I would never have a room temperature cocktail with him around.
That's true.
Oh, yes, very true.
The ice maker would never be empty.
That's
I
true.
mean, these are all very convenient things. I think just having a ninja in the house is just really useful.
We had Killer Frost one time, and I kind of for that reason I married her too, because of the cold fact.
Yeah.
What's with you guys in like ice?
You know why not?
Well, when you're an alcoholic, it's a big concern to be like, I don't want my gin and tonic.
Yeah,
to
you want a
get
big old
warm.
ice cube, and
Yeah.
you don't have to keep those weird big ice cube
I,
trays.
I just wanted to be chilly at night versus being warm.
Oh, I agree with
That's
that
why.
as well.
That's why I
Yeah.
chose to marry
I like to
her.
sleep with several duvets. So this is
Imagine in the summer. Oh my god, that would be
Yeah,
so
oh.
good.
It'd be the
Don't-
best.
No air conditioning. You just sleep with like an ice cold body next to you.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you wed Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
That's good.
100%.
Fair enough.
I think I would bed Aaron Black because I
Hmm.
feel like a dirty old cowboy would be like a really good lay.
Probably.
I hear that.
It just
yeah.
feels like it would be like gross and hard and rough, and it's
Dusty.
it's
yeah.
dusty.
That's your thing, huh?
I mean, if he's been riding horses, he can. I feel like this is a good match.
It's good saddlebacking, yeah.
And then I would dead is all this
Yeah.
line.
Mhm.
Okay, so then I would kill Rashid because he seems like a douche.
Damn.
Seems like a douche. He's probably got too much money, not enough sense. And if I can steal his riches afterwards, I would do that.
Oh, that's not.
would be-
we
I-
didn't
I-
think
We
about
actually
that.
make up for
I
that.
don't know if it's like a mugging kind of. if I just have to murder him and leave, or if I could murder him and then take his wallet.
You know what? That's
Yeah.
why not?
No, come on. Then it
There's a lot of other stuff. To
it
do
changes the whole
after-
equation.
Yeah, I know. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of roads you can go down with this game.
Yeah, he's
Alec, what about you? Who would you choose?
This is okay.
It's a tricky one.
This is a tricky one. I feel like I would also. Well, should I marry Sub-Zero? I feel like I would marry Rashid, right? Because he looks like he's some rich dude from like Saudi Arabia or something. He's probably got like.
I think he literally is.
Yeah, so he's I'm into that oil money, so I'm gonna marry him, and
Into that oil money.
I'm gonna drive around in a Ferrari and not work and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever those rich oil dudes do.
And you're Indian.
Yes.
So
Gosh, oh my
What does that
god!
have to do
Oh my god!
I'm saying it's close.
It's not that
Bryce,
close.
stop being white.
It's
Stop
kinda
being
close.
white.
It's not that far away. I'm
So I
just
can
saying.
visit my mom. What are you trying to say?
Yeah,
is it closer? It's closer than flying from here to.
Hey, me and
yes.
Rashida coming over, Mom. We'll be there in a couple hours. Something
Right.
like that.
Okay.
He definitely has a private plane, so that's not out of the
I'm
question.
not going to bring my gay husband to visit my mom. So
In India.
He's so rich.
As opposed to
though.
your straight
if I'm
husband,
married,
would you bring your straight husband?
if
to
I'm
visit?
getting married for money, I'm like, I fly my mom out. Anyway, that's a good point. I guess I would be closer to my mom.
See? Exactly what I was saying.
This is tough now. Do I bang Sub-Zero? No, let's see. I think maybe you were right with marrying Sub-Zero now.
I'm sure I was.
You've already chosen
I
Rashid
know Sub-Zero.
as your husband.
Sub-Zero's a ninja, and you could do a little ice play.
Yeah. Okay.
They're all kind of ninja. They all have kung fu ability. In
That's
this.
true. I mean, Aaron Black is not a subtle person though. He's
No.
not a ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna bed Sub-Zero, because of it's all his icy stuff. That'd be interesting. Maybe do some weird ice things. I don't know.
Again, he likes the
I know.
games and the weird
Yeah.
stuff.
I like weird
Alice,
stuff.
Alice just loves toys in the bedroom.
But I worry. See, I would kill Aaron because I don't want to bang a cowboy because
What?
they probably don't use condoms. You don't know what's going on. They
Yeah,
probably
but
visit
whatever.
prostitutes all the time. All that. I mean, I'm worried about disease. I feel like
Yeah, but he's got all the diseases that we've cured now since we got penicillin.
Yeah.
that's possible.
They were a problem for him. They're not a problem for us anymore.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna kill Aaron Black. I don't
Okay.
know.
Oh.
I'm just trustful of cowboys because their politics are probably very
Wow, you're gonna have to issue an apology to all your cowboy
I
listeners
might.
after
I know.
this.
Sorry to all the cowboys.
Please call Clint Eastwood right now and let him know.
Well, this
Okay.
might help because I'm going to marry Aaron Black. I'm
Really?
going to wed him.
Why?
I think
Does he make you feel safe?
He makes me feel very safe. He's a badass dude. I like using him in the game because he's got some cool moves, some cool weapons. Oh shit! But again, I don't want the weapons around the house with kids. So that's always a big.
So you're marrying and having children with him.
Oh wait,
Who's your
actually
plan?
no.
I mean,
we
you
won't-
could be a
He
childless
has a
couple.
kid
I
now.
know. In real life, Brian has a kid.
okay.
I don't know if you would bring your kid, you divorce him and then marry Aaron Black. I mean, that's a possibility.
I may have to keep my real child with my with my now divorced wife. I guess I'll come over on the weekends without my new husband. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna marry. I mean, no one's gonna mess with you if you got Aaron Black like walking alongside you.
Oh
Like,
my god.
No, I think it makes a lot. He's got guns. He's got what else does he do?
He has that Baraka spear.
Yeah, does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna marry. I'm gonna wed him. Who am I gonna bang in this situation though? Sub-Zero or Rashid? And that's where I've been really struggling because I don't know yet.
Tough one.
It is a very
Yeah.
tough one, but I think what I'd have to do is bang Rashid.
Surprising.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bang Rashid, and only because I think if I kill Sub-Zero, he's not already dead. I mean, Scorpion's dead.
Yeah.
Is Sub-Zero dead too, technically?
Well,
I
which
forget.
one? One of
Right.
them is dead. The other one is alive.
Right. So this one I think is.
But I guess if it's Sub-Zero,
two
he's alive
Sub-Zeros?
at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he won't mind. He's such a, like you said, he's a quiet, kind of.
He's a real cool guy. He's
Real
got a lot of chill. A lot of chill, that guy.
Yeah, but I think if I had to bang Rashid, you guys think he's a douche. I think it might seem he seems kind of fun. So I'm gonna bang him and see what happens.
Okay.
So and sorry, Sub-Zero, you're gonna die.
Oh no.
I think
That's
Rashid
fair.
is too rich to be good in bed. It's too much money to be good in
Well,
bed.
I'm
I agree
inexperienced
with
with that, so I wouldn't know if rich men are bad in bed, but we'll have to find out.
I mean,
He won't be a generous lover.
He really
would not.
won't.
He
He
would
will
not be a
not.
giver.
Well, you know what?
No,
That's
no.
okay because I'm not that into it anyway. So if we just gotta touch tips for a minute or two, that's
is
fine.
that what you think gay sex is? You just touch.
Isn't that it?
You just go poinky poink. It's
Isn't
like
that-
that's it.
Yeah.
Wait, what else is there?
Cowboy.
Oh, wait, what?
You have to kiss.
You
So
should
if it's
watch.
just-
You should watch Bait Bus, and then you'll find
No,
out.
thanks. If it's really boring, I think I'd be okay with that. So
I would. Okay, Actually, you made a very good point about oil money. I would definitely marry Rashid because, first of all,
That money.
oil money, great.
Yeah,
also,
that's
Rashid controls wind, so he'd be really good at cleaning house.
Oh,
you know,
man, he's got that tornado kick.
yeah. I mean, he'd be really great. And he's like, I don't know. I mean, you see douche. I see fun guy. He seems very fun loving. He's very like free and like whatever. And he seems like very like he seems woke. He seems a little woke.
He's like
Say it.
he's like a genie. He dresses like a genie.
Okay, you gotta stop with
Wow.
these references.
He dresses like a genie. He's got the big pants, the hat. He dresses like a genie.
He dresses like a sheik, but that's not even the point.
Woke
The point
genie.
is- I'm gonna marry Rashid. I again, rich, fun, playful. He could protect me
See?
with wind. Good wind, not stank wind, but I'm sure he has stank wind as well. But you know,
If that's
all
what you're
husbands.
into, if that's
Yeah,
what
no.
that's what you're in the market for.
He could put some stank on it. That's nice. I would definitely bed Aaron Black because I mean, seriously, Dirty Cowboy. That's really hot.
Yeah.
It is. I banged a trucker once, and like it was really
Oh.
fun. So like,
Such
I'm
a-
assuming.
Let's talk about
the
that.
modern day cowboys are
Yeah, seriously.
the cowboys of today.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
cowboys of the road.
yeah. That'd be fun. And I mean, I also have to be like Aaron, like has a sense of like honor. So like, I would make him use protection, and he'd be okay with that.
Was it like a big, dirty flannel shirt wearing trucker?
He was not big. He did wear flannel though.
He was dirty.
He
A
was.
small flannel wearing trucker? Dirty
He actually
trucker?
was like, he was smaller than I had expected. Like I thought, because like you think of like truckers as like going to be a big like, 6'4"
Yeah.
guy. I also banged an ex-trucker, but he looked way more truckerish than this guy. This is not the point of this podcast.
It's not. All right.
But anyway, I mean, and also like Aaron, like Cowboys have a sense of adventure. He's gonna be adventurous in the sack, and it's gonna be one night, and he's gonna fucking nail it.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, like the guns are dangerous, but like I'd have him hang them up on the wall. Like leave your holster at the wall at the door, and we'll
You have
do
a
our
little
thing.
cubby or like an umbrella bucket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Drop your weapons on the way in.
Yeah,
Leave a penny, take a penny. Leave a pistol, take a pistol.
exactly. And then I would definitely, I would have to kill Sub-Zero. I don't like. I mean, I'm Caribbean, so I don't like the cold like that. Like, and I mean, the ice thing is good for drinks, but not for everything else. And I just, I
On a
don't
day
know.
like this, it is.
Yeah, and then I also, as I said in previous podcasts, I like pillow talk. He's not gonna. There's no pillow talk. He's a
No,
ninja.
he's not.
No, there's almost no
It's very
talking
quiet.
whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Very
so.
quiet.
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I think we all win again. Those are all great
Everybody
answers.
wins.
I think truckers win.
Truckers win, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Brandon, thank you so much again.
Yes.
Brandon Quinn.
Thank you for
being
having
on
me.
the show.
Yes.
Calvin's old friend.
Yes. Seriously, thank you so much, Brandon. I'm so glad you could come in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me anytime.
I'm glad you reminded me of your name. Thank you so much. It's great.
Good luck with the next level you design.
Yes.
And guys, leave us some feedback, some messages, some subscriptions and ratings and all that stuff. And we will talk to you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Truckers.